Let's take a closer look at Turkey's economy and the debt crisis rocking Europe now. We're joined by Özgür Demi, Associate Professor of Finance at Baruch College in New York. He will also join Sabancı University here in Turkey as a chair professor in 2012. Mr. Demi, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Ellen.
Well, my first question for you, sir, is can you just give us the latest on Turkey's economy? This week we heard about the current account deficit.
As I have told before, I am above average optimistic about the Turkish economy. First, the current account deficit, although is a problem, it will be less of a problem than being indicated by foreign press. Number one, yes, Turkish economy is somehow overheated, but this heat will be given away in the next 2 quarters. And the reason behind that belief is if you look at the indicators that's being reported by the central bank, the numbers do show that there is some cooling going on. First, there had been some preventive measures that's being taken by the necessary agencies. Like right now, for example, it's harder to get credit in Turkey, and it's becoming more and more expensive every day. And second, if you look at basically the inventory numbers, it's also showing a cooling down a little bit. And also, the international environment is showing that, the overheating of the Turkish economy will not be a problem in the upcoming 2 quarters. So by the end of the year, my expectation is that the current account deficit or the growth in current account deficit will be lower than the expectations.
Now, we heard from Babacan saying that the Eurozone debt crisis will most likely rock Turkey. What are we hearing from the public and other officials here to the debt crisis there in Europe?
Now, the interpretation of the minister, Babacan, should be done pretty carefully. I fully agree with him, but I think people somehow misunderstand what he's trying to say. Now, in terms of the economy of Turkey and in terms of the recovery power of Turkey, it is very high, so I am extremely optimistic by that. But what he meant is that, of course, whenever there's a crisis in Greece or in Italy or in Ireland, and including also U.S., of course, this will affect Turkish financial markets. But we need to remember that Turkey is in a very strong position, and Turkey doesn't have the type of debt problems that Europe is having. Let me give you some numbers here, Selin. Look at Italy. Italy has $2.2 trillion debt, and most of that debt is unfortunately near term. And just to give you some numbers, Italy has $750 billion to pay in less than 1.5 years. How are they going to do that? What about Greece? Also, Greece has a debt problem, although Greece is a smaller portion of the Europe. Even, and just to give you some numbers, for every 100 Turkish liras that's being given as a debt in the Eurozone, only 4.56% is belonging to Greece. Even though it's less than 5%, it was a big headache. Now, let me tell you that that number is much bigger for Italy. Italy, we have a 26% of the overall debt in the Eurozone. It's $2.2 trillion out of $8.3 trillion. If you look at those numbers, you can see how dangerous the situation is. And I don't want to say I told it so, but I told this to my close circle in intellectual conversations more than a year ago, because the debt structure of Italy was exactly like that a year ago. If you look at CDS numbers for like credit default swap numbers for Italy, you can see it, and you can see that like a year ago in a similar way. So, of course, there will be problems in Italy. There's already a problem here in Greece. And this will, of course, affect Turkish markets, but the effect will be as a positive one also, because our current account deficit will go down whenever the financial markets react and whenever Turkish lira loses further value.
So Turkey will be affected by it, but it's prepared to deal with the effects of this crisis?
Well, again, we need to just choose the right words here. Mm-hmm. Turkish financial markets may be affected, but Turkey is in a very strong position. It's exactly like how it affected Turkey in 2008. Remember, Turkish financial markets just reacted strongly. The stock market went down. Turkish lira lost some value, but afterwards everything was okay again. So it will be a similar reaction. I believe so, even if the stock market goes down a little bit and the interest rate will go up somehow. Eventually, in the medium run, Turkey will be one of the hottest markets again. So foreign investors should just keep this in mind.
Now, Greece has really been in the headlines the last few weeks with the austerity measures being taken there. And Turkey is so close to Greece. Is there a way to really protect Turkey from the crisis or to shield it from the Eurozone debt crisis?
Well, first we need to understand something. The world economy has changed a lot during the last 20 years. And frankly, there's no way to protect anybody. So everybody will be affected somehow. So the goal here is not to protect an economy from outside shocks. The goal is basically to have a sustainable growth number and to grow in a sustainable manner, in a systematic manner. And although there will be some idiosyncratic shocks within the financial system, the overall systematic growth is what matters. And Turkey, I believe, contrary to some beliefs, is at the center of that. And Turkey will, as we know, remember, Turkey had the largest growth number, 11% in the first quarter. It's a world record. But what we want is not a world record. What we want is a stationary growth number. And Turkey will have that stationary number after this window is over. But remember, we need to find a solution to Greek problem. And I'm hearing that people are saying, Greek debt will be paid somehow. But remember, if Germany is the one who is paying that debt instead of Greece itself, it's a default. It's a technical default. And I believe in order for us to start with a white page, we need to consider the restructure of the debt in Greece. And I believe that's what we're going to do eventually. It's just right now we are basically extending the problem, but we need to sit down, we need to think how that $400 billion debt can be paid. And if it cannot be, then a restructuring should be on the table. And this is the one that will save Greece and that will basically start with a white page.
Özgür Demirtaş, Associate Professor of Finance at Baruch College in New York, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.